All right, friends, welcome to Erie Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Medical supplies. I'm a firm believer in having a lot of medical supplies. I believe we are going to be in an SHTF scenario. I believe war will be inevitable. I believe civil disobedience as a result of that is just around the corner. And I think you better have a lot of supplies, gauzes, especially of all kinds, shapes, sizes, rolls. Gauze is not reusable, but it's super absorbent and can help save a life. One of the things that we talked about in my group is having supplies, even if you don't know how to use that particular medical item, somebody else in your group may have the training to do it. So if you have some money and all I do is work and come home, eat, sleep, pay bills, and go back to work again, I spent the money and I bought extra that I was told I was a little bit short on. Now, the doctor did say he was very impressed with the amount of supplies. He said, I'm overwhelmed, actually. He said, you have enough that I would feel comfortable performing a minor surgery. Wow, that was really a nice compliment. And he said, you have enough here that I could fix a few people, but, you know, when it's gone, it's gone. And I said, yeah, I realize that. And he goes, some of it is for the sutures, is for the outside, some of it's for the inside. And he goes, yeah, you'd probably save a few lives with just the supplies that you have on hand. Now, mind you, we're not doing open heart surgery or liver transplants or anything complicated. I have the tools to remove bullets or whatever. I don't have the stuff to put you under, no anesthesia. So, you know, you're going to be passing out from the pain or chewing on a leather strap or whatever. I do have some topical numbing agents to help get past being stitched up. And believe me, you know, these Hollywood movie stars that say, oh, I can just stitch me up. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. When the doctor at the ER was putting 13 stitches in and the lidocaine hadn't taken full effect, I was chewing on my knit cap and he says, just tough it out. I'm not getting you any more. And believe me, he meant it and continued stitching. And I was like, oh man, yeah. But I want to make sure I have more than enough. There will be no resupply in SHTF. I do not know how to use this stuff. I am not a doctor. Don't play one on YouTube nor in real life. If it was up to me to stitch somebody up, you'd look like Frankenstein with the big loops and big scar and everything else. I said, well, you're not going to win any prizes, but you're not bleeding to death. I can appreciate someone who has the skill to keep the stitches, the sutures small and effective. So he told me what to look for. I accomplished that mission. It came in the mail today. A lot of extra stitches, sutures, supplies, scalpel blades, scalpel handles. You cannot reuse a scalpel blade. So I got the equipment. I have sanitizers to disinfect, to sterilize the equipment. But again, when it's gone, it's gone. So think about how you can do that. Rubbing alcohol, steaming it, boiling it, using vodka to sterilize the equipment before it touches your skin, having a proper disinfecting soap to wash it. And this is hospital grade. And he goes, man, that's expensive. And you got the good stuff. I said, yes, I did. Somebody's going to be fixing me up. I don't want to die from infection, even though the operation was a success. The patient died from infection because he had crap underneath his fingernails and on top of his skin and everything else. So you make sure you have sterilized gloves, masks, proper soap, proper scrub brushes, and, let's get her done. I went on eBay, and the seller was High Quality, Hyquality. He doesn't know I'm doing this. I don't know who it is. He's just a seller, but it was very good priced, $59.98. And it is titled under Suture Practice Kits. It's a training tool. Contains suture pad, which simulates human skin, so you can practice, stitching somebody up. I would refer you to Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy. He does a very good demonstration on how to suture, the proper techniques, the knots, and everything else. So Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, under their old videos on how to suture the proper way, is a good thing to do it, but this contains a suture pad. The case itself, I bought two, looks just like this. I'm going to put one of these in my get-home bag or my bug-out bag, depending on what you want to do. The other one goes into my medical cabinets so that we can perform minor surgery if needed be. So he told me what to buy. I bought extra, plenty of sutures, because if there's no resupply and somebody gets hurt, namely me, I want to be able to be ready to go, stitched up, ready to go, inside or out. He told me what to get. We got it. Wasn't satisfied with that. From the same seller, High Quality on eBay, I got a surgical trauma kit, $32.99. Sent it in a bag just like this. And you can see in there, it's a 70-piece kit, surgical blades, another scalpel blades, gauze pads, scalpels, scalpel handles, trauma shears, and suturing scissors to put the little needle in there to use it and sew up my oopsie. These are the things you should be considering. Not only having plenty of over-the-counter meds, but stuff to fix some minor or very serious wounds. And it doesn't have to be an SHTF. Listen, I use a chainsaw. And one of the bad habits that I fixed right away was I would get tired and I would lower the chainsaw, just let it, with the blade just slowly turning. Man, that went right through my pants in a heartbeat and just missed my skin, my femoral artery, which means I would have been dead in 30 seconds. So after that, I bought a pair of chaps that have slices in it until I fixed that habit and saying, man, I don't need to die and I don't need, a raggedy stitch. Something like that could happen in an SHTF. Somebody's chopping wood, the blade slips, and all of a sudden you got a 12-inch gash in your shin or your leg or something else like that, or somebody stabs you with a knife, or you stab yourself with a knife. Accidents happen. There's not going to be hospitals. You're your own doctor. Read about it. Learn how to fix yourself, somebody else. Saving a life, they may certainly thank you. And if you don't have the skills, have the materials. I cannot emphasize that enough. Having supplies makes a big difference, gives you peace of mind. It's called prepping. Everybody can have bullets and everybody can have guns and everybody can eat an MRE, but how many people can actually save a life? I have CPR stuff. I have disinfectant solutions. I have antibiotics. I have soaps, nail scrub brushes, drape cloths, everything you needed to help somebody get well. And that includes, literally, that includes bedpans, pee bottles, everything else. And if I were you, I would search YouTube for IV stuff to help start it. They don't provide you the liquid IV, but you can make up your own. But you got to have the tubing, you got to have the needles, and you got to have the injection ports and everything else. Look up that stuff. Start thinking major, major life-saving. If you have the money, if nothing else, buy stitches. Buy sutures. Spend $10. Buy a bag of these. If you don't know how to do it and you're in a group and there's an EMT or somebody else that has training to do it, give them this and say, hey, did I just earn a place in your group? If you could provide this medical supplies, you've earned a place in the group. Just something to think about. For under $100, I just may have saved your life or mine. Thank you for liking and subscribing to Erie Shores Prepping. Get yourself right with God. Get prepared. I believe it's coming. So do many other people. Greg out.